Welcome to Lit with Ernest, the show where we dive into the lives and works of influential authors. Born on April 13, 1909, in Jackson, Mississippi, Welty's upbringing in the Deep South would profoundly shape her writing, imbuing it with a unique blend of Southern charm, wit, and depth. Welty's early life was marked by a love for reading and storytelling, fostered by her mother, Chestina Andrews Welty. Her father, Christian Webb Welty, was an insurance executive who also nurtured her curiosity about the world beyond their small town. This balance between her parents' influences would later reflect in her stories, which often explored the complexities of human relationships and the societal norms of her time. As a child, Welty spent countless hours listening to her family's stories, which would become the foundation for many of her literary works. Her education began at the local public schools in Jackson, before she moved on to the Mississippi State College for Women, now Mississippi University for Women, where she studied English literature and developed a keen interest in photography. This early interest in visual storytelling would complement her writing, allowing her to capture the essence of her characters and settings with vivid precision. In 1930, Welty transferred to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where she continued her studies in English. However, it was during her time at Columbia University's Business School in New York City, from 1930 to 1931, that she began to develop her writing skills seriously. Despite not graduating, this period in New York exposed her to a broader literary scene and influenced her perspective on storytelling. Welty's professional life as a writer began when she started working for the Works Progress Administration, WPA, part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal program aimed at providing jobs during the Great Depression. Her work involved traveling across Mississippi, gathering stories and conducting interviews that would later inform many of her fictional works. This experience not only honed her observational skills, but also deepened her understanding of human nature, especially in the context of the rural South. One of Welty's most significant contributions to literature is her unique narrative voice, which blends humor, irony, and a profound insight into human psychology. Her stories often unfold at a leisurely pace, much like life itself, allowing readers to absorb the intricacies of her characters' inner lives. Works such as A Curtain of Green, 1941, The Wide Net, 1943, and Delta Wedding, 1946, showcase her ability to craft compelling narratives that explored themes of identity, community, and the human condition. Welty's writing also challenged the societal norms of her time, particularly in her portrayal of women and African Americans. While some critics have argued that her depiction of African American characters was limited by the biases of her era, it's also true that she made a conscious effort to include their voices and stories in her work, contributing to a more nuanced understanding of racial dynamics in the South. The legacy of Eudora Welty is profound and far-reaching. She influenced a generation of writers, including William Faulkner, Flannery O'Connor, and Toni Morrison, among many others. Her commitment to exploring the complexities of human relationships, her innovative narrative techniques, and her deep love for the Southern landscape have made her one of the most celebrated American authors of the 20th century. Despite facing criticism and controversy over certain aspects of her work, Welty remained steadfast in her pursuit of truth and beauty through storytelling. As she once said, "The truth is never ugly, only its disguises are." This quote encapsulates her approach to writing and her view of the world, a world that is complex, multifaceted, and full of stories waiting to be told. She not only reflected the world around her, but also challenged it, pushing boundaries with her unique voice and perspective. Like this episode if it hit true. That's all for today's Lit with Ernest. Like this episode if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about books. Subscribe, because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.